All right, we're back on the Bagland podcast. We got Solomon with us. Happy belated, brother.
What is that?
I said we got you back on the podcast here. I said happy belated.
You're breaking up.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Now I was saying happy belated. Hopefully you had a good birthday.
Oh, yeah. I'm 41 now, so you don't look forward to birthdays anymore.
Yeah, this just looks like another year for you to break new ground. That's pretty much all it is.
That's it. Just the way like somebody described it to me the other day is when you turn 40, now you're in your prime, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I don't, I just look at it as another day. If I'm not breaking new ground, year upon year and 3 to 6 months upon end, I don't feel like I'm winning.
Right.
But
that's the way it is.
But for this broadcast tonight, we didn't really get to go into some of the accomplishments of these moguls, and as we looked at, the last episode where we were talking about a possible RICO occurring, one thing that you had brought to mind, you had told me the other day, you said, well, man, you seem kind of shocked that a bunch of people, something happened here. Wait a minute.
If it happens again, just you call me back on the other phone.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll do that. Yeah, well, what I was saying earlier is that, earlier this week you had talked to me. You said you were a little surprised at the lack of support that it seemed to be online from Black America with Diddy, and you sent me a couple different things. You said, well, hey man, everybody just has jokes. Nobody's really saying anything, and the thing is, man, is you got to keep in mind, man, that there's a lot of people, because, again, I'm taking the position of innocent till proven guilty. He's already guilty until proven innocent under the white media. We know that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's guilty. Whether he did it or not, he's already guilty. That's the position that they've already taken, especially when you've seen. Now there's a TMZ article. Let me pull this up real quick, where you sent me, and I wanted people to clarify this. I wanted folks to understand TMZ. They're definitely a bunch of race soldiers. They play in just like all the others. They're no different. They'll play both sides of the fence if they have to. They're just trying to get a quick story. And if they got to throw a black man under the bus, they have no problem with that. But here's what I'm going to say. The article you sent me on TMZ Sports. Now, this is TMZ Sports. Think about this for a moment. This is TMZ Sports. This is supposed to be about sports. And somehow they felt the need that they had to bring Diddy up again. Now, they said that his daughters were on a vacation with LeBron's son amid the investigation. And right here it says 16-year-old James was featured in a video. Looks like they're in the Caribbean islands and they're hanging out. So their families are probably close or whatever the case may be. I don't really know what they got going on, but a lot of families, that are well-to-do, their kids hang out. That's a normal thing. Now, right here, it shows where the person that wrote the article said, anyway, while this might raise an eyebrow among some, the fact is there's nothing wrong here. So you see how they try to clear themselves up, but watch what they do down here. I noticed this is very interesting. There's nothing wrong here, even though we're sure there are people who might clutch their pearls. Jesse and Delilah, of course, have nothing to do with what's going on in Diddy's world right now, even though they were affected by it last week when the feds came knocking. Now listen to this part. This is the telling part, and this is how demonic the white media is. They said, remember, agents for Homeland Security and Customs and Border Patrol stopped Diddy's private jet at the Opa-locka Airport in Miami. This as his daughters and others were set to hit the skies and enjoy a little R&R during school break, but that got cut short. Now, remember what happened initially when we heard this. The media made it seem as he was just running away. They had plans already to go somewhere. And this article right here, they wanted to remind you, like, yeah, this Negro's he hasn't been arrested, he hasn't been in court, but he's guilty. You see? So they're already setting it up for a media lynching. They're already setting that up. So I just wanted people to be clear when you look at these articles, just don't look at the headlines, read what's in between the lines so you can kind of understand what's going on. You know, we're not really taking the position that, well, whether he did it or not, we don't know. That's the Fed's job to investigate. The overall point is you have TMZ that's saying, hey, remember, don't forget, this nigga's guilty. And they said for his kids, am I coming through real good?
Yeah.
They said for his kids, oh, well, they don't have anything to do with it because, see, they made sure that they did not want to demonize the kids. At the same time, we're like, okay, no, but yeah, your pops, he's guilty. Now, this is supposed to be a sports place. The original article is supposed to be, it says Diddy's daughters vacate with LeBron's son amid investigation. So they're just trying to get some views and they're trying to get their viewers and stuff. But, you know, black folks to the sound of my voice understand what they're doing. Don't ever get it twisted. It made it seem like, oh, it's just these kids are just innocently doing their thing. They're doing a vacation. But like I said, they had plans, from what I could understand, from what they're saying here in the article, is the family had planned on jumping on taking a private jet anyway. Now, what made you so surprised at the time? And there's another thing that you probably don't know about, but this is probably going to blow you away. But what was the most surprising part when you were like, well, damn, it don't seem like Black America's getting behind them? Why were you so surprised?
I was surprised, because you would think that there'd be one or two or three people that would say, nah, fuck that, Diddy ain't that kind of person. I've been around him. I done partied with him. Like, look at Russell Simmons. He had quite a few people who vouched for him.
Yeah.
And sometimes the thing is this, and like what people need to realize is a lot of the people that are watching you on TV and they're hearing stories about you are the same people that are going to be on the jury.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what happens is if you got influential people like a Jay-Z or a Barry Gordy or, one of these guys were to come out and say, Diddy, I know him and he ain't that type of brother. I didn't party with him. I didn't did a lot of stuff with him and he wouldn't do that. That might help out a little bit.
Yeah.
R. Kelly obviously didn't have that, because I don't think many celebrities, dealing with him outside of, producing music.
But he had more. But R. Kelly had. He wasn't completely abandoned by Black America because, number one, folks in Chicago, you got to think he's from Chicago, all right? Folks in Chicago wasn't oblivious to what's going on. Number one, they knew that their parents was pretty much handing them to them. I remember I was listening to some audio, and I might play that, I don't know. But I was listening, I think it was Academics and Whack 100 were talking about how Whack says he talks to R. Kelly once a week. And he basically said, well, hey, man, I didn't know that some of these girls were underage or this, that, and the third. Whatever. Whether he knew or not, I don't know. The thing is once you take somebody across state lines, they're like, all right, Rico. That's trafficking now. And so these parents were giving him these kids. We know that. That's already been established. He was probably paying people off and all that. We got to keep in mind that this nigga was a superstar. He was our generation's of, like you mentioned, Berry Gordy. He was our generation's what's the brother that wrote all them songs? Not Babyface, but he before Babyface. Jeez, he wrote all that Motown shit, everything.
Eddie Pendergrass?
Not Teddy Penny, not Teddy. Teddy was a beast, but not Teddy. Smokey. How could I forget, man? I feel guilty forgetting it. Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson is single-handedly one of the reasons why Black American music, or just American music in general, is what it is today. Smokey Robinson gave, you got to think, Motown. Let's keep it 100, bro. Motown made America what it is. That music really was the soundtrack of America. Smokey Robinson wrote damn near all that stuff. Now, R. Kelly was like our Smokey. R. Kelly couldn't really read, so he probably really didn't know what kind of contract he had. Jive Records, when they found that kid, they said, all right, we know this kid probably been touched on. They know he got some deviancy about himself. He was sitting on his mama's lap when they probably found him. Like, R. Kelly had been touched by his, I think, older siblings, some women or some in their family. They did something to him. So his best defense should have been, hey, I was fondled. And people would have looked at it a little different. But he didn't really want to come out and say that. But when the money dried up, you got to keep in mind, when the money dried up, that's when everybody starts saying, okay, he's a predator. Now, he wasn't a predator when everybody was getting paid. From the record company to the managers to the parents. You got to think that none of the parents were indicted. So what they did to R. Kelly. The only reason why R. Kelly ain't in jail is because he ain't had no money. That's the only reason why. He might have did a little bit of time, but it wouldn't have been, he had money. Now,
there wouldn't have been no charges because the parents wouldn't have been making noise.
Yeah, nobody would have really cared. Now, here's the thing. They weren't saying that he was really, the charges weren't that he was beating people and he was violent. That he, his charges were more like, okay, these girls are young. But now, look what's happening right now. I was going to talk about this later. But look what's happening right now. This is an article that just came out today. I was going to ask you about the Danity Kane girl, but I seen some sleazy stuff that she was on too. I don't completely trust her. Now, this article here was to say Diddy's legal drama sparks documentary spree with former partner Hulu and race. So they're saying the Hulu was a former partner. These folks don't really care if they did business with you. It's saying right now, Diddy is currently negotiating a number of lawsuits stemming from allegations of sex abuse, harassment, and misconduct, giving filmmakers plenty of material to document his proliferating troubles. This is a money bag right now, bro. TMZ reported that at least 5 production companies from the US and the UK are in the process of compiling the mogul's recent troubles in the documentaries. Among these outlets is Hulu, who severed ties with the New York native last year while they were working with him on a reality television series titled Diddy Plus 7. The publication sources have also conveyed that a lot of these projects were commissioned after the Bad Boys boss's home in LA and Miami were raided by Homeland Security. Now, with this Homeland raid, before I go any further, this Homeland raid, they're getting all the evidence they can. I believe that they got some stuff on them tapes that ain't just him. I'm talking about there's probably some things in those parties where it's really damning allegations and evidence that people in Hollywood don't want to be a part of. I think they came in there really for that. This Cassie thing, I don't think they would have just did that just for one person. I think there's a lot more in those tapes or something that he's got, because you got to think. Remember when you asked me, they said, well, why are people afraid of him, or this nigga's a billionaire and he's dangerous because he could get you hurt if he wanted to. He could get you hurt. He got the kind of money to get you hurt. You got to think. We hear about these shootings, you know what I'm saying, in our hometown where niggas get shot over a bag of weed or, a pound of fentanyl or something. a nigga will blow you away for $10, $15, $20,000 if that. You take
less than that.
Less than that. So you take a billionaire. You take a billionaire that says, all right, I want that nigga up out of here. Don't never find his body. Got $100,000. You think people won't do that? Quick.
Of course.
Quick. What if you put a ticket up? What if you put a ticket up?
Once you get past 500, you get the right crackhead, man. He might do it for a bump.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, you could get some real hired help. You could get a mercenary for less than $1 million. There was a dude that just got arrested not too long ago, and that's where this illegal immigration is a major issue. This dude, he was a notorious gang leader somewhere down there in South America or something. I mean, this dude was a bad cookie. Man, they arrested him once they found out who he was. But he tried to come up here under the asylum illegal immigration thing. You see what I'm saying? These folks,
right? He's going to come under that act.
They'll come under that. So we really don't know who we're getting in this country. And the thing is, what I'm saying is these people are coming from cutthroat backgrounds, right? So you get somebody like that to come in here and be like, hey man, this nigga causing me problems. This is where I see him at. This is where he stays. Make that happen. And they'll never know who did it. When you got money like that, you could get somebody gone if you want to, and they'll never know what happened to you. It's not hard to do. You see what I'm saying? And so folks know that. Not to say that he did, but you got to think about it, bro. If I was a billionaire and I had a problem with somebody, I'm not about to fight that nigga.
Right.
Yeah, you gonna be a part of my. I ain't gonna have no problem with you no more. I'll just say that if I had billions of dollars and stuff and you become a problem to me, you're not gonna be a problem anymore. And I'm not gonna do nothing to you, but you're not gonna be a problem anymore. And that's all I'll say about that.
You're done being a problem.
Yeah, you're done being a problem. If I gotta pay you to leave town or whatever, you're just not gonna be a problem. I'm too rich and wealthy to have problems with you.
I'm too rich and wealthy to have problems with anybody. Yeah, I understand that mentality.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with nobody. I wish I would be a billionaire nigga, man, and some nigga comes up to me talking about DP, fuck you, I'll do this and I'll do that. You're not gonna do nothing. What's gonna happen to you is you're gonna end up in the hospital and I'm gonna go home. That's what's gonna happen. That's how that's gonna play out. Yeah, I'm not listening. I'm not gonna put a finger on you, but you're gonna get hurt really bad. I suggest you go on about your business. You see what I'm saying? That's how I would operate. Right. I'm not about to be fighting with you and arguing with no nigga. What's gonna happen is you're gonna get hurt.
And maybe, get your ass kicked.
Yeah, you're gonna get your ass kicked, and you might you might end up in a trunk somewhere in another state where and be told you come back and this will be the last thing you do. I'm not about to sit there and go back and forth with no fool. I got way too many things. And see, that's why he probably settled with Cassie. Like, all right, yeah, we might have did this, might have did that. You're out of my hair. Here, just take the money and shut up. Because why just keep going out into the public where we got to keep going back and forth about how much of a predator and a demon I am? Just take the money and shut up. But now she's probably been subpoenaed or either offered information. So whatever NDA she signed, federal law supersedes that. They probably told Cassie, you know what? Don't worry about it. If you're afraid of him or you think he gonna do something, man, we got the feds on him. That nigga ain't gonna do nothing now. So even if he wanted to do something to her, you know, his hands are tied, bro. He's he's not thinking about doing nothing. Because I wouldn't. No, if I was a billionaire, yeah, I wouldn't. If I was upset with somebody in a situation like that, and I'm kind of feeling a certain way, and whatever, and now the feds are at my house, the last thing I'm thinking about is trying to have somebody do something to somebody. I'm trying to keep my nose clean. I have a possible RICO coming my way. I don't need to be involved in nothing. And of course, that's what his lawyer. Because you got to think, your lawyers, their job is for you to commit crimes and do every sin under the nation of God, and for them to clean it up. That's their job.
Yeah.
Your job as my lawyer is I'm supposed to be able to tell you, like, yeah, man, I grinded his body up and we dumped it in the wherever. And you're like, oh, okay, who did you tell? Oh, I just told you. Okay. Don't say nothing to the media, DP. Where did you bury it at again? Oh, I buried it over here. That's their job. Their job is to clean it up, no matter what crime you did. That is their job. And now Hulu has found an opportunity. First, it was 50 Cent. But, man, it's a bunch of documentary places. There's a bunch of places that are interested in doing these documentaries because they know it's going to, they're going to get a lot of views. It's going to be a lot of views with whatever information, and people just want to see stuff. Now, I want to play something. You said that not too many people are really giving him not support. The first thing is he didn't have enough support with the black grassroots, with the black streets. Later on, he was doing revolt and things of that nature, bro. But he didn't have enough boots on the ground. You see what I'm saying?
He had no boots on the ground.
Yeah, and that, you know what that comes from? That doesn't come from just being rich and out of the reach of your people. Because you get people like 50 Cent, that man still be going back to Jamaica, Queens. He just bought a brand new building out there in Shreveport, Louisiana, of all places. Now, Shreveport, that's a rough city, man. But he bought a warehouse, I think they said paying like, $3,000 a month lease or something like that, because he wants to open up G-Unit, a G-Unit film thing. That's going to employ a lot of people. That's going to make a lot of films. 50 has one of the biggest, he's a heavy hitter on TV right now with his Power universe. He's got the street Star Wars, you might as well say. So he probably said, well, he's smart. He said, let me go down south where the land is cheap, and so, but he has more roots. But see, when you get to Diddy's level, he's probably like, well, I got money. I don't need y'all niggas. That's probably the attitude. But then once he started saying, well, you know what? I'm gonna be a little revolutionary. This big liquor deal, these white folks is treating me like the nigga I am. Who they think they is? Yeah, I'm black, but I'm rich. And they're looking at you like, oh, nigga, you're still black. So
right.
That's what really did it for them. They're like, oh, okay, you think you one of us. We'll fix you. That's what I think part of that's a major piece of this investigation is like, okay, nigga, you get too uppity. And we'll tell you the history on when white folks feel like Negroes are getting too uppity. You know how that goes. They're like, okay, we'll fix you. We'll make a call to Homeland Security about those tapes that we know about. You see what I'm saying? So they probably, I think that was part of it. And then with the revolt thing, he probably said, well, let me get like Tariq, let me get Killer Mike, let me get some folks with credibility in the street. People that black Americans respect and feel like they could trust. Let me open up a media apparatus, because he knows about media. He knows how to do that. But he said, well, let me let them, because if you look at a lot of some of those revolt things, it's getting into more of the political space. There was a big thing on reparations, and black folks got to the point where they're like, hey, look, we not gonna be part of this political arena if we ain't gonna get nothing out of it. If we ain't gonna get nothing out of it, we just won't be part of it. And this is the first time in history, so they probably don't really like that too much either. But he doesn't have enough I think pull with the community. So folks is kind of looking at him like, well, you kind of on your own. But another big part about it, bro, is you got to keep in mind. A lot of the guys that's making jokes and, people on the internet and this, that, and the third, you got to keep in mind, man, that a lot of these Negroes ain't never made 100, 200,000. What I mean by that, man, is, now think about this. Let's just say this. Let's say you're a black person, right? And you've been a kind of person that always has something to say about other folks that probably have done a lot more than you, and you've never really achieved or succeeded in anything. And then you got somebody here that's overachieved. Let's take away completely. Let's just say, because we didn't really know about this stuff back in, for example, 99 and all that. We didn't really think about, how it was with the internet with us. there wasn't no robust way to find out. If you heard something about somebody, I mean, you had to kind of, it wasn't like a big news outlet now, where it's anything. I can just put up anything and just start talking. I don't really have to have any credibility whatsoever. I can just put something on the internet and just say clickbait and say, well, yeah, he did it. But back then, when a lot of these albums and stuff coming out, and you hear, oh, well, this person went platinum or gold, or they did this, and let's say they said they opened up a school or whatever the case may be, you just kind of hear about, some of their accomplishments and deeds. You got to think about it, man. You got some folks out here that have never done anything of consequence or success. And you have someone on the other hand that has. Sometimes they're going to resent that.
Yeah.
They're going to resent that. And it's not because, now, like I said, you just may say, well, I just don't like Diddy. Okay, why? Oh, he's arrogant. All right, every nigga you know is probably arrogant. half the people we met in our life is arrogant. But
right,
arrogant,
they got money.
Yeah, arrogant, and then back it up with actual accomplishments that you can measure. Not a bunch of babble and a bunch of wishing and a bunch of I should have did this and a bunch of jail talk, but somebody that actually got off their ass and did much, much, much more than you could ever possibly do yourself.
Exactly.
You're gonna resent that. You got to think, when we were in high school, the person that did the best in class, nobody really honored him that much. I'm talking about somebody that was an overachiever, that got their work done, that was down there, wasn't BSing around, that was really trying to get stuff done. If you're a nigga in the class and you see me over here getting stuff done, and then, I've been accepted to the grant program, I'm about to get into the magnet, the first thing that nigga starts talking about is, oh, he's a goody two-shoes. Or, and most of them niggas that are like that can't even read. So here you are getting good grades. They automatically know. You got to think at a young age, we kind of make decisions about our life, about where we're going to be. We don't know where we're going to go all the time, but we kind of have a conscious effort like, okay, deep down inside, like, damn, man, I ain't really going to be shit. You could tell how much effort you're going to put forth. You could tell, and teachers and your parents and everybody know, they could tell their child that ain't probably really going to achieve shit unless he gets like a swift kick in the behind of life, versus the child that, like, okay, that nigga is, he's going to do something. I don't know what he's going to be, but that little dude right there, he's real headstrong. He wants to do something. He's not just BSing around. Like the time when, I had met your uncle. Remember, we were over there and we were talking, and I was sitting there just talking to him. And your uncle had this, I always remember him because he had this suit. He had this clean suit on, and I was kind of looking at him like, man, he looked like he'd be about business. And we were just talking. And I remember when he turned to you and he told you, he said, this guy right here, he's gonna do something.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
that.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that.
Yeah, he turned to you and pointed to me and he said, this dude here, he's gonna do something. You might want to hang around this guy. He's gonna get stuff done. He said, he said, you get, he told me, he said, man, just keep going. He said, man, you're smart. He said, I don't think you're gonna fall into the category of what was common in our neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? And he was right. People see that. I didn't necessarily say anything to try to win him over. I didn't babble on about what I know and all this kind of stuff, but he could just tell as an older man that, and I'm not sure what line of work your uncle did, but I don't know, he just struck me as a businessman.
Computer programmer.
Computer programmer. Yep, he was a computer programmer. That's right. I forgot about he's a computer programmer. Now look, he was doing it as computer programming. He was doing it early when, man, software engineer. I remember it put it like this. When he was doing it, bro, he was like a pot of gold. Software engineers, they look at them different now because a lot of it is based off AI and stuff. But, that and that's probably, if I went to college fresh out of high school, that's probably what I should have went towards. But a lot of times with black kids, we that math starts messing with us because we're not taught in different ways on how to do it. Usually it might be one way, we get confused and then we don't want to do it no more. But that probably should have been the, because if I would have did that, yeah, I would have been 10 times further than where I am now. But software engineering, that was a big deal, him being a computer programmer, because you kind of manage what you want. You're the creator. You're just not an administrator where you're just, making stuff, just maintaining stuff. You're actually creating things, so you get to kind of name your price. And he could create his own software. But yeah, man, you get some folks that they can, when they see when you're in school or anything, your friends know too. People could kind of tell, like, okay, yeah, this dude is gonna do something. And if they don't really feel like they're gonna do something, or they don't got no get up and go, they're gonna resent you. You see what I'm saying? So,
oh yeah, a lot of people, that's the nature of people's personalities. They hate in others what they can't do themselves. That's the definition of hating.
Now, this is what they may say. Now, this is another thing, because I'm taking an objective point of view. I'm saying, okay, you're not guilty. You're not guilty. You're not guilty. Now, remember, I always told you. Remember, I used to always crack a joke. Like, this nigga don't make no beats. I never really thought that he had talent. Like, when we was in school, I used to always be like, man, he can't really rap. He don't make no beats. And he doesn't have to. Because, see, when you're the producer and you're the person that owns the label, your job is to basically tell people, hey, look, that's a hit. Hey, now put a little bit there, put a little that, mix that. And that's all he has to do. When you have a production team, and if I sign artists, I'm the producer, I'm the one putting up the money. You see what I mean? I'm the one that's putting up the money. You see what I'm saying? Now, you're an artist, and this was a time where you had to kind of get signed. They didn't really have a distribution where you could just throw your stuff right on iTunes and shoot your own video. Man, a video might cost you $10,000 to $100,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Busta Rhymes did that video, when he did that video with Janet Jackson, man, with Hype Williams, man, that video was like $1 million, bro. You remember that video was $1 million, bro. When P. Diddy and Nas did Hate Me Now, that video was like $1 million or something like that. They had the Tigers, they did all of that, you know what I'm saying?
Just for the video, that's $1 million.
The video was $1 million. This dude had tigers, and didn't he have tigers, white tigers in the video or something crazy? He had all kind of crazy stuff in the video. You see what I'm saying? Hate Me Now, featuring P. Diddy, Nas. That was his lead single from I Am. Because remember, Nas did Illmatic 94, 96 he came out with it was written. I don't know which one I like better. They're both 5 mic albums. Hell. Then he took 3 years off and he did I Am. Then he did Nostradamus. People didn't receive that as well. It wasn't really his best album. Then he came back with Stillmatic and burnt Jay-Z. Demolished Jay-Z. You see what I'm saying? So, but yeah, a lot of people, man, are, they're butthurt just by him succeeding. Let's really go down the line and look at Bad Boy Records. Let's just look at it, okay? From an objective point of view, let's look at Bad Boy Records and see, and then we're gonna go into No Limit, because that's a very important one. Now, we're using Wikipedia as a source. Now they're saying here, because that's the quickest thing for me to go to, but it looks like he had a non-paid internship to becoming an A&R executive at Uptown. Then he was fired by Andre Harrell he was fired in '93, and he started his own label. The first release was Flavor in Your Ear by Craig Mack. That went platinum. Then he had Ready to Die by Biggie. Multi-platinum. So Craig Mack's album went gold at that time, and Ready to Die was doing multi-platinum. Okay. Now in 95, Biggie was like one of the biggest. He was the biggest artist of Bad Boy. Then in 95, Total had a platinum record. Faith Evans had a platinum record. Bad Boy, meanwhile, staffed a bevy of in-house writers and producers, Easy Mo B, Chucky Thompson, and D-Dot, each of whom are credited on a bulk of Bad Boy releases during this time. So these were the hitmen. Okay? Now, Life After Death, that came out. Of course, we know Biggie didn't get to, receive the fruits of his labor from that. That was a big, More Money, More Problems, Hypnotize. Now, that was one of the highest selling rap albums ever in the U.S. at one point in time. Then Diddy came out and did Can't Nobody Hold Me Down in 96. Then he did I'll Be Missing You. And then that was the one where he probably didn't get his sample straight. And let me see, was it Sting? Or who was it that he sampled for? Yeah, Sting. So Sting gets Sting's gonna get paid for the rest of his life from that. That
Sting gets $2,000 a day.
That's insane. So yeah, that's about. So now he don't get paid every day, but like you said, he's getting paid every day. Every 90 days, he's getting a check with that $2,000 a day for the rest of his life.
He said if you broke it down, that's what it would be.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You're right. So right here, I'll Be Missing You is based on a sample of the '83 single Every Breath You Take by The Police. Sean Combs did not secure legal approval for the sample before releasing the song. And police songwriter Sting sued, receiving 100% of the royalties, with payments reportedly going on until 2053.
Wow.
So I don't think it wasn't a situation where he got on. You see what white folks do. They not gonna lip wrestle with you. He didn't cuss him out. He probably just got a call from his lawyer and said, hey, Sean, you know you owe me some money, right?
Right. 'Cause if you remember, Sting is in the video for I'll Be Missing You.
Really?
Yeah, if you go back and watch that video, he's in it.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So basically, before the video came out, the single came out, right?
Yeah.
And then Sting probably said, well, you're gonna owe me some money. I might as well jump in the video.
Maybe, you never know. He might have did the video and everything, and then it came out that he didn't clear it the right way.
I think, well,
but Sting is definitely in that video.
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know.
I
don't know. Well, but either way, whether he knew it or not, Diddy knew that was going to be a hit. Of course,
that whole album, though, was all remix songs.
The entire album.
So he knew it was already hit. Of course they're going to be hits again. I'll just switch up the words a little bit.
Now, so we got him in Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. I'll Be Missing You. Now that No Way Out sold 7 million records.
Now, No Way Out was that whole album. How many songs on that album are not remixes or samples?
I don't know. Most of them probably are. I'm not exactly sure.
I mean, they had a whole album of samples.
It's a whole album of sample. Okay, let's see here. Now we got. Now I'm looking at the writers. This is what we got listed. Now it says all tracks, with the exception of I Got the Power, were produced by members of the Hitmen. When I look at the writing credits, Combs is all over it. Who's Stephen Jordan? Is that Stevie J? Okay, so Stevie J. Now they can say what they want about Stevie J. That nigga made some hits. He made some hits. Let's look at his catalog, because like I said, we're taking an objective point of view. I'm not really concerned at this point about whether I like the nigga or not. I'm talking about, let's look at the hits. Okay, so he got Soul for Real, 112, Lil Kim's, SWV, Jodeci, Mariah Carey, Sting and the Police, Boys to Men, LL Cool J, MC Lyte, Isley Brothers, Babyface, Tevin Campbell, Tamia, Brian McKnight, Deborah Cox, Eve, Black Rob, Biggie, Day 26, Rick Ross. I mean, Summer Walker, Stevie, and yeah, they got some hits, man. They made some major hits. Now I'm looking at the writing. So Combs is all over this. Combs is all over this. So of course he's getting most of the writing credit. And then he probably this is how he probably got a lot of the bread. He probably said, well, I'm the producer, so I get a production credit and I get a writer's credit. So this is how it pretty much works. Correct me if I'm wrong. Me and you do a song, all right? I write a rap. Let's say you made the beat. You and I are going to split a certain percentage. Now, I'm going to break it down for the listeners because I went to music school. And I'm going to try to keep it real simple. Now, I could get dirtier than this. This is why the contracts, when people say, well, hey, you ripped me off. You just didn't read the contract. And most of the time, you're a young artist, you're a new artist, you ain't going to know because them contracts look like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. There's no way in hell, man, when you're a young person and you look at that contract, you're going to know what it is. Kanye West was just talking about that not too long ago, man. He was saying, man, look at this contract. I mean, they write it as you literally you got to be a lawyer and have to read it over and over and over and over again because they got all these words like therein and thus and within, without, whose, and, or. It's just, yeah, it's just crazy. So I write a song, you made the beat. We get a percentage of that song, and then you have your publisher. It could be BMI or ASCAP, okay? Now, let's say I sign to a label. Let's say I'm Diddy, and I'm like, all right, nigga, you like women? Gotcha. Oh, you want a limo? Gotcha. You want a Cadillac? Got you. You want to ride on this jet? Got you. Oh, your video gonna be 200. We gotta market you. That's gonna be a couple million. Gotta call the radio. I gotta make a few favors. Hey man, play this record. I signed this new nigga DP. Play his record. Okay, that's gonna cost you. So now this nigga done put up $3-4 million. Now your record goes platinum, and you're like, well, man, I done made you 20 million. Well, I had to pay your bodyguard. We had to fly all them little hood rats in that you like. We had to pay for your hotel. We had to pay for your tour bus. We had to pay for insurance. We had to pay for Stevie J to make the beats. We had to pay for it being mixer mastered. We had to pay Bernie Grundman for the mastering. We had to pay the musicians. We had to pay the publicists. I had to get you some nice clothes. Nigga, I done spent $3 million on you. So you need to pay me back every dime before we do the next album. Well, man, you ripped me off. And I'll say, well, no, nigga, that's cross collateralization. So it cost us $3, $4, $5 million to make this album. You went platinum and we got 20 million. So now you're like, well, hey, I should be making $3-4 million. No. You shouldn't be making $3-4 million. Because remember, the Cadillac was $100,000. And I put you up in a suite for the first 6 months. And you wanted some cocaine and you wanted some hoes and all. I had to pay for all that. Now the next album, we're going to sign you to another 2-3 album deal. Now let's say the next album does triple platinum. You see what I'm saying? You might still owe me on the last album. So you're going to have to get on the road and do some touring so you could make $50,000, $60,000. Your manager's going to take 20%. But think about it. Let's say you some dude, you fresh out the hood. And before you met me, nigga, you was just rapping on the block selling crack. But I ripped you off. See, that's the way he's looking at it. That's the way the record label's looking at it. Nigga, before you met me, you was selling crack and gangbang. You couldn't have got this far without me, which actually is true. You would have had to sign to me or somebody else. If you would have signed to the white folks, they still would have did you like I did you. And that's the way that the record label is working. If you're not somebody like a, like a Tech Nine or a Master P or something like that, that's pretty much how it was going. Now, today, a kid can shoot a video for $3,000-$4,000, put it up on YouTube. Oh, it's out. It's in a bucket outside in the garage. You could put it up on YouTube. You sell, for example, you get a YouTube account. Let's just say you have about 10 million views. Well, every million views you might make $3,000 or $10,000 or something like that, or whatever the case may be. And then let's say you have maybe 40 million streams on Spotify or something like that. And then, you have a decent amount of, followers. You got 1 million followers on Instagram. You're all over TikTok and stuff like that. You don't really need a P. Diddy now. So when the label comes to you, if you done kind of did a lot of that on your own, when the label comes to you, they can't really give you the sharecrop deal. Now, you might just be like, well, man, I just want to be bigger and I want to be all over and I want 50 Cent all over my stuff and I want blah, blah, blah. Well, then they can sign you to what they call, bro, a 360 deal. You ever heard of one of those?
Yeah, I have. I've heard of it. I'm not totally sure what it is, though.
A 360 deal is like this. I want a piece of everything you got. I'm going to do what we did, like how P. Diddy signed you. I'm going to put you everywhere. Now, you already making a couple bucks, but nigga, I'm going to give you 20, 30 million up front. Because you don't want a Cadillac. You want a Rolls Royce. And you want you some Instagram hoes. You don't want these little hood rats you've been messing with. You see what I'm saying? And you want to be in a private jet from time to time. So I'm going to advance you 40 million. But guess what? I need a percentage on your record sales. You're a superstar and you filling up stadiums. So I know you're going to sell some t-shirts and you're going to make, you're doing really good. But I'm just going to make you global. You're going to be like Beyonce or something crazy like that. You filling up stadiums. But guess what? I need a percentage of the money on everything you sell. When you go on to this, when you play for the Super Bowl or when you're in the Budweiser commercial, I need a percentage of that. You got these new shoes we release. You and LeBron James are gonna do a partnership for these new shoes. Okay, I need some money for that. You sold triple platinum. I need a cut of that. So I need a cut out of everything you get. Now somebody might say, well, man, that's a ripoff. Well, kind of. But see, you wanted the advance. You wanted them to take you maybe a little further than it would have took you right away. They're like, okay, this kid got millions and millions of views. People know who he is. He's viable. He's already selling a few records on his own. But he wants to go further, faster. Well, that costs money. Getting you all over the radio. And, because that radio money is a little different. Remember I told you his streams, Diddy streams, it went down. So the radio... That radio money, that's superstar money. People don't listen to the radio as much as streaming, I think. But I mean, there's still some people that listen to it enough to where, that radio and that TV money, that's different. Like I was telling you about the publishing checks. When you own the publishing, you're the one getting the check. Every 90 days, whether you're in BMI, ASCAP, you get a publishing check. That means every time you look in the mailbox, you get a check. So he's still getting those checks, and especially if he owns the masters, and there's other things too. Like when I said cross collateralization, there's synchronization royalties. Oh, I played special delivery on an Uber commercial. You see what I'm saying? Like somebody might take that beat. So whoever owns the rights to that, if I made special delivery, then I'm gonna get a check. You see what I'm saying? Because they're gonna play it on TV a certain amount of time. So let's get back to the accolades here now. So yeah, that album. Let's see here. Yeah, if you look at the producer, it says Puff Daddy on damn near all of these. Now it says some of the hitmen too, but he's the producer. And like you said, sample credits. Now, I don't know if they took the whole damn thing, but like on Victory, Bill Conti, Been Around the World by David Bowie and Roy Ayers, written by Lisa Stanfield. What You Gonna Do? It's Over, written by Eddie. So basically, he did. I don't know if he took the whole entire song. He might have, but like you said, all of these, you got some Al Green, Average White Band, Ohio Players, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. There's samples from Michael Jackson on here. So yeah, he sampled. I don't know if he took the entire songs and just remixed the entire songs, but maybe he did. But he sampled from all these records, and all of these people, whoever was the ones that owned the publishing, they're getting a check. Everybody. Whoever, they're getting a check. They got something coming. And guess what? He still has something coming too. So he knew what he was doing. He said, I'm going to hit All About the Benjamins, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, Been Around the World, Victory, all of these, he reaped the benefits. And you got to think, Biggie was dead at this time. So Biggie's still selling. People are still buying Life After Death. Selling more. You see what I'm saying? So that No Way Out, he didn't have to rap real good. Now let's go back to, we got No Way Out, then Harlem World. That came out. Harlem World sold 200,000 its first week. That came out October 97. Now that Harlem World went on to sell quadruple platinum. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. That would Mason video.
Yeah. That went on. I didn't know DMX was on that album. I never paid it no mind. I never heard that album. Neptunes did a song on there too. Jermaine Dupri did a beat on there too. So, he had the Hitmen, he had Neptunes, Dame Grease. Dame Grease is dope. You know about Dame Grease from Rough Riders. He did a lot of Dame Grease shaped a lot of the sound for the Lox, the Rough Riders. He shaped a lot of the sound for Rough Riders. He shaped a lot of that sound. Okay, so now let's go on down to Money, Power, and Respect. That went platinum. It says shortly after the group departed the label, entered into a long-standing publishing dispute with Combs over the latter receiving 50% of their publishing that would continue until 2005. Now, I remember when the Lox, they were upset about that. They wanted more of their publishing. So this whole...
Yeah, don't you remember the Free the Lox campaign?
Yeah, and here's the other thing about that. They didn't just get... When they let them go, that wasn't just a clean break. They were going over the Rough Riders, but I think they still had to. I think Diddy still got money off of that.
Of course, probably not as much.
Let's take a look at that.
Could have bought him out.
Yeah, they probably bought him out, and I think Rough Riders might have bought him out. But let's see here.
And another reason why he kind of eased up on them is he thought they were washed.
Yeah, he probably
he didn't think they had any more hits in them.
Nah, yeah, he probably didn't, and the thing too, the Lox had a lot of the street behind them, so it made sense for them to go over there at Rough Riders.
Right.
They didn't want to be in shiny suits no more. They weren't coming from a shiny suit, ordeal. Now check this out. It says right here. Now, Money, Power, and Respect went platinum. In the summer of 99, the trio found themselves disappointed with the direction of Bad Boy and wanted to be released from their contract to join the Rough Riders. The Rough Riders had always served as the Lox's managers, and the group felt like the new label could better represent their hardcore sensibilities, which they expressed in their rhyme. Bad Boy was known for its radio-friendly dance hits and high-priced videos, while the Lox were quickly establishing themselves as hardcore rap artists. Now, Sheik Luke said, we just needed to be on a rougher label, a harder label that fits our image. Now, the Lox tried all of the legal maneuvering available to be released from their contract. However, the lawyers and conference calls did not work. At a New York rap concert, the trio sported Let the Lox Go t-shirts and sparked a grassroots movement to free the Lox. Pressure resulting from the campaign ultimately caused Bad Boy and Diddy to release the trio from their contract. We really changed the game by doing that, says Styles, concerning the contractual drama. It might take years from now, but other people are going to do it. We made it so they don't have to be scared to speak up. So, yeah, man. That
was some real shit.
Yeah. And you know what? For all we know, you got to think, the Lox are some real street dudes. They might have told that nigga. Maybe they threw a couple chairs in some conference rooms and basically told that nigga, like, nigga, yeah, we know you got some money, but we'll put hands and feet on you. They might have threatened Diddy.
Well, you remember when that Angie Martinez clip? He was like, when Jadakiss was like, don't try to get on here and be a tough guy.
Hold on, let's see if we can find that.
Yeah, it's Angie Martinez, the Lox, and Puff Daddy. It'd be easy to find. It's an epic clip.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull that up because I don't know if I heard that. Let's pull that up. Let's see.
You want to be a tough guy? Don't try to sit on here on the radio and be a tough guy, okay? You know how Jadakiss's voice.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
But if you notice something, when Puffy was out on the Drink Champ, when he would say, "Hey, you want to party with me?" You remember when he was saying all that to Fabulous?
Yeah.
He didn't say a word to Jadakiss.
No, he didn't. Jadakiss was just kind of grinning. I think Jadakiss was just kind of grinning like, okay, that's this nigga. That's what he does. Now,
he also knew Jadakiss ain't going.
Yeah, he knew. And
Jadakiss ain't giving up that ass. He ain't doing that.
And then Fabulous was kind of looking like, but he didn't say anything to him. He didn't really say nothing to him. Like me, I would have been like, hell no, nigga. Like, what kind of party you talking about? I ain't about to come over your house do no party. Is this a public party or is this? Yeah, is this a public party or is this you just want me to come to you? No, like what do you and like that liquor got to talking so much where I don't know. And then Nori was just kind of just sitting there. I think I got the footage. Hold on, I think I got the audio. Here it is. Is this it? Damn, it's muted. Hold on. Let's see. Is this it?
Hell yeah. Hello?
And portray like somebody gotta go and steal and rob and be shiesty. That ain't really correct. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I'm at my office right now. I'm always accessible. Y'all ain't gotta get on the radio and do certain tactics and do certain things to ever holler at me. Jadakiss, last time I saw you, I told you, let's get together, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? I told you I'm accessible. I said if anything don't come, if there's somebody standing in the way for you expressing yourself, or any of y'all expressing yourself, y'all can come get at me directly. You know what I'm saying? All that throwing the refrigerator and you gonna kill, y'all ain't killing nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? We businessmen. We all mature adults say all that right there. I'm at my office. Y'all can sit on this interview with her and talk as long as y'all want to talk about it. Or you can take the invitation I gave you before. But it's not even getting there because of your
man, I bet if they would have told him the address or going at his office, I bet that nigga wouldn't even let them in. I bet he...
if you keep listening to the interview, he goes, he says... they're like, we trying to get out of our contract, this and that. And he tells them, you should come to my office and let's talk. And he said, we can't get close to you.
Oh, okay.
They won't let us get close. You won't let us get close to you.
Okay, so he was shook. All right, let's see.
You get on the radio, whatever tactics. I ain't your enemy.
Dog, we just
you need to bang like that on cats that's coming at you. I ain't your enemy.
Just yesterday we got a note from your office saying you don't have no idea of none of this or none of nothing.
Just yesterday, your lawyer told us that.
I see you at the show backstage. You said find out what it was.
But don't sit here and portray like Puff took nothing from y'all.
What is it? What is it? What do you call it?
If it's 10 years,
what do you call it? And don't say we can come to your office or do none of that, because we can't do none of that.
Street Wars Volume 14.
We can't handle it no other way but with lawyers, and you know that, so don't get on the radio and act like a tough guy or none of that.
Wait, you know how we can settle?
You acting tough.
I'm in my office. So why don't we stop talking on the radio?
Now, you want people to stop talking because you just don't want to know the truth, dog. We made one record with you. Money, Power, Respect. It's 10 years later, and you still got half of our publishing. Now, there's no way you can make it justifiable that you said you deserve half of our publishing.
You to my face. We just at the concert. You ain't saying nothing.
What are we going to do, saying it to your face? Get sued? What do you want us to do? We can't touch. It's not a...
So do you remember when he went to Rough Riders and he says, I would smack you with the burner, but you probably sue. They was talking about that nigga, bro. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I'm sure you was.
He said, I ain't talking to he said, I ain't talking to, I think he muted it too. He said, I ain't talking to something, I'm talking to you. But they muted some parts.
They're talking to Diddy.
Diddy knew not to play with them in front of their face. He knew that.
That's why if you seen on that Drink Champs, he didn't say anything to Jadakiss.
He was, I noticed it. He was terrified of them niggas, bro. You gotta think. He got money and all that kind of stuff, and he's powerful, but at the same time, you know, he's not dealing with, you know, he ain't dealing with no little push arounds. He could play with their money on paper and stuff like that, but you gotta think, man. If he was out in the street pulling the kind of stuff that they say he did, and just imagine Diddy in the streets with the locks. I'm just saying, just imagine that. Just imagine when they were on the come up, niggas was in the hood, and he tried to pull what he pulled with a dope deal. They probably would have beat the nigga half to death.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think Diddy was ever involved in anything like that growing up.
No, man. No, he just, you know. I
think he was a good kid, you know, listening to his mom. I don't think he was involved. Like, he's not gang affiliated at all, is he?
No. I don't even think around the time when he was coming up, that was New York started getting into the heavy gang stuff. I think later on, they came into it. They came into it later. You know, like the 90s or something like that. That they didn't really. I mean, I'm pretty sure they had like their block gangs or whatever like that. But you know, I don't think he came from the cloth that they came. They're coming from like, well, wait a minute. You know, it's been 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Because they were Money, Power, and Respect came out in 98. So
yeah,
this looks like this is around. Yeah, this is 2005. So let me play some more.
Can't be violent or none of that. We can't even have
you saying all this, dog. 2 years ago, Levels in Miami.
Let's recognize real. Y'all know where the office is at. There's a big sign on it. I'm gonna be
the whole National Guard's downstairs too. Cut it out, man. We can't talk
in this. I'm a grown ass man, man.
You're a coward.
And I don't take nothing.
You're a thief,
You're a coward.
Don't say you're a thief.
Okay.
You're a
thief. Come to the office, man. Come to the office so we can straighten it out then.
Yo, how we just three guys you don't even mess with. You had your Ace Boon Coons publishing.
You call me whatever you
want.
won't
let his publishing go.
I'm at the office.
His Ace Boon Coons. So it's somebody else that was close to him. He said, you did your homie dirty with the publishing.
Right.
He said you did.
I think it's Craig Mack.
Craig Mack? Damn.
That's what I think it is.
Craig Mack?
I thought because Craig Mack was one of his first artists, wasn't he?
Yeah, let me see. When did Craig? I think Craig Mack made 2 albums. I think that he passed in 2018. So Craig Mack, he had
Flavor in Your Ear.
Yeah, the Project Funk the World that went gold in '94. Then he had another album. He made 3 albums. No, Flavor in Your Ear went platinum.